Another question that I really had in mind that I wanted to ask you is, I'm an MBA student. I have a solid experience at my in my kitty. Now I'm just trying to understand, like, how do I make myself indispensable to the other person? Because there might be other candidate who's kind of with a equivalent number of years of experience, perhaps a specialization in data science. But how do I deal with it?
Yeah, so I think when it comes to the job search, right, there are a couple of
Right.
things that you're trying to demonstrate. The first is, how are you unique? What
Mm,
areas can you say I either have a really strong know-how about, or maybe an above average know-how relative to other people? So how do you step away from buzzwords, and how do you translate that into actionable things that you did? Let me give you an example. There are some job seekers that I speak with who will say things like, "Oh, I launched a product." And that's great and buzzy and really on trend, I think, with a lot of tech startups or tech companies. But what does that actually mean? How do you demonstrate that you know what it takes to launching? What are the milestones that you were involved with? What are the tasks that you did? What's the impact that you provided, right? That's what makes you stand apart. So that's one thing. The second thing is thinking about the context and the scope in which you're doing things. So let me give you an example. I can say that I train people,
mhm.
and that's kind of the beginning end of it. But am I training people one on one? Am I training a group of 300 people? That scale, right, are very different skills. Me being able to engage 300 people at once versus me being able to engage one on one are very different things. So the more you can highlight some of these scale or contextual factors, the more you're able to stand out as the unique piece or the unique value that you're able to add, right? And then finally, I would say think a little bit about metrics and stories and how you can merge them together. It's great to say, I had a 95% customer satisfaction score. That's fantastic, and that's arguably above industry standard for any type of tech company if they're dealing with customers. But what if I can also merge it with a customer story and say, hey, these are the types of things that I experience with customers, and because of that, I developed really long lasting relationships even after I left my company. I'm still in contact with everyone. Oh, and by the way, I have a 95% success rate. When you can merge these two worlds together is when you're really going to see that you can make that impact moving forward. So those are the three major things that I would really focus on, right? Is what is the actual tasks that you're doing? What's the context in which you're providing your value? And then merge those stories and build a narrative using metrics and using, your unique stories. And when you can find that magic formula across your interview, not necessarily in every single answer, but when you can show bits and pieces of each piece within
Yeah.
your entire interview, that's when you'll stand out.